My name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. So today I'll make another video on the same series of Solidity programming series, and in this I'll try to cover a loop section which is most important for us. So what exactly the loop is it, what are the type of loops which we have it in Solidity itself, and why we require the loops. Okay, so we'll just start with the theory part and then I have prepared the code for you even for the for. There are two types of loops, I can say that, and one we are trying to make it, which we call it as a do while. So normally in Solidity, if you are learning from the Solidity documentation, you are getting only details about two loops, that is one is a for and one is a while, and another one is also, I'll just try to get it include. I'll just get it somewhere itself. That was the reason I've included in my notes. So I'll just try to put that notes on my GitHub also, and even you can get it on my blog also, details about it. Okay, so now we proceed further with the theory part first, then we'll go to technical section. So basically loops are used to repeat a set of instructions multiple times. That's a straightforward stuff about it. This is common for all the programming language. Talking about the C++, Python, C programming language, or if I'm talking about the Java, any programming language, wheresoever you're utilizing any other programming language, if you're utilizing a for loop itself or any loop itself, it's just to get it repeat the instructions multiple times. Okay. So if I'll go ahead further with that for loop statement, it consists of three sections. First is the initialization section, which we call it as where we have defining a value of that loop itself. Like loop is a type of, like, we have to give it define first as where exactly the value started, next till where the value will go, that we call it as a conditional section, and last one is a iteration section, which we call it as it's get it incremented or decremented as per our loop itself. So normally it's incremented, but if there is a need of the decrement also, that's also can happen. Okay, so now if I'll go to the while loop itself, the while loop continues executing as long as the specified condition is true. So the content is like, if the value provided is true, till then the while loop will be working. Once the values get false, automatically the program get terminated and you're coming out of the while loop itself. That's all about the for and the while loop itself. There is another one which I call it as a do while loop. So normally in Solidity documentation you're not getting that, but it's a combination of do and while itself. So I'll try to cover in that code itself so that you can able to understand what is the difference between it. So in case of, if you are trying to simulate the do while loop using a while loop as a pre-check. So do while loop, we are using it as while as a pre-check over there itself, that we call it as a do while. Okay, now I'm going to the code directly itself just to make you understand. There are few things which I just want to tell you, like before going further with that. It's important to caution while using a loop in a smart contract to avoid guess related issues. So if you are defining any loop, make sure it should be a proper conditional, you have to get it defined. Otherwise, if you're using a loop, it consumes a lot of guess related issues can be created, and a lot of guess will be consumed over there itself, which may increase the cost of the blockchain itself. So it's far better for you when you're defining any loop, make sure the condition should be as per the need itself. Okay, infinite loops or the loops with an undetermined number of iterations should be avoided to prevent the potential attack. That's also one other possibility on the contract due to excessive gas consumptions. Okay, which I've already told you about it, but it leads to the attacks also. So if we are not defining appropriate conditions in case of loops, then in that case it may create a problem in the lot of gas consumption, and it may can exhaust all the resources itself. So it's far better for us, we have to define appropriate conditions as per our need. Okay, now we'll go to the code directly. So we'll start with the for loop. So now in case of for loop, you can see this is the code which I have built it for it. So it's a straightforward syntax. Now we are giving a contract name as loops. This is a function which I am defining it over here itself, where we are defining as a loop name, function name is loop. Then we are defining as public pure, and return, we are returning a value also, and that is unsigned value which we want to get it written. Okay, now as we are not using any state variable, we are defining it as a local variable over here, that is unsigned count equal to 0. Now we have to start it we have to given a syntax as for unsigned integer equal to 0, which we are initializing first, like what's the value of the I, and what is I? That is an unsigned integer. Now till where the value will be go, the I value should not be equal to or greater than 10 itself. It should be lower than that. That's a condition. And how much is the iteration itself? It required I equal to I plus 2. So make sure that the value should be included in that I equal to I plus 2. Okay. Now once that will be get it done, then count equal to count plus 5 is that. Okay. So once it's going inside of the loop, the value will be count initially is a 0, then it's added 0 plus 5, then the count value will be 5. Next time when once again the loop will be initiating, then again the count value will be 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10. Once again it will be trigger, and then it becomes 10 plus 5 15, and the third time it will not. The thing is that as it's reached to 6 and we do not want to go further with that, that was the reason behind it, it's get terminated. So we'll see that what's the final value we are getting it over here itself. Okay, let me compile the code first. Now let me deploy that. So if you go inside of it and try to click on the loop, you can see it's 25. Okay, so why it's coming to 25, you can able to understand I plus 2. So once first time I value is 0, then at that time the count value is 5, then it's go to 4, I value will be 4, then it's 10, then it's become 4 plus 2 6, then it's become 15, then 6 plus 2 8, then it's become, how much is it? It become 20, and the last one it's become I plus 2, that we call it as 10, and this time the condition will be expelled, but still even if it's get expelled itself, our value will be get it counted, and then at that time it's get terminated. Once it's get terminated, we can get the value as 25. So that's the whole process for the for, where as per the condition itself the loop will be run and the count will be get it increased, which we have defined the value over here itself. Okay, that's all about the for loop itself. Now we go to the while loop. So in case of while loop, it's a straightforward syntax, same function which we are defining it. The initialization is also same, this one is also same. Okay, this is we have defined it different over here itself, as we are defining it outside. Like in case of for, we can define in the syntax itself, but in case of while loop we are not, we have to define that outside that. Before the while actual syntax we are defining it, we have to define what exactly a j which we are utilizing over here. So what we have mentioned over here, j equal to 1, that is a condition we are giving it. So it's different from the for, but in this case we are giving a condition where till the value will be true it will run, and once the value will be false, it's automatically get terminated. Okay, so we'll see that j equal to 0, then while j equal to 1, now it's going inside of it count equal to count plus 5, as j equal to j plus 2. So count value will be 5 now, initially is 0, j value initially as 0, then it's true. Okay, once it's true, it's going inside of it and become 5. Okay, we'll see that, we'll run that, and then I'll explain you about it. So let me run and try to let me delete this, compile it once again, while loop, and now I'll try to deploy that. Once I'll deploy it, let me click on the loop, and it becomes 0. Okay, it becomes 0. Why it is? As initially the value of j equal to 0 we have defined it, and going inside of it, it required a 1. If we have defined it over here as 1, then in that case it will be work. Like over here, just to demonstrate purpose, I have defined it j equal to 0, and initially also this condition is not fulfilled. That was the reason it's get terminated, and the j value 0 will be get it reflected back, and we get 0 as the outcome of it. If we have defined it this as j equal to 1, let me run it once again for you, and we'll deploy it once again. So if I'll deploy it once again and try to run it, this time you can see it's 5. Why? Once it's checking the condition j equal to 1, yeah, it's 1, then it's going inside of it count 0 equal to 5, it's become count equal to 5, and j equal to j plus 2. So what the initial value 1 plus 2, then in that case it will become, how much is it? 3. Now if it's running once again, it will not. Then in that case, return value will be 5. So count value is now increased to 5. That was the reason when we click on the loop, we are getting the value as 5. Okay, that is the difference between a for and the while. So that was the reason we are running using this loop just for the condition till we want that condition to be true. This will be running. Once the condition is false, it will not run. Okay, so we have to define a specified condition over there. But in case of for loop, the situation is totally different. We have different sections for it, and accordingly we'll try to map it so that it will run as per our need. Okay, now if we're talking about the do while. So if I'm talking about the do and while loop, then in that case, the syntax is straightforward, same one, similar like a while loop. But over here, we are using a do before that. Okay, so the condition we are defining over here, and we are running this. We're defining everything inside of the do. Then once the condition is false, then automatically that this will be trigger and we get return the value itself. So it's the same. J equal to 0 itself as a normal local variable which we have defined it. Count is also a local variable itself which we have defined it. We go inside of the do loop, and then in that case we just check that as j equal to 0 itself. Initially the while value is, we have to check it first. So j value should be less than 10 or not equal to 10. Okay, so it should be 9. So initially j equal to 0 itself, it should be fulfilled. Then in that case, the count value becomes 0 plus 5 equal to 5, and the j initial value is 0 plus 2 equal to, now the j value become 2. Now once again, if just check the value, it still be less than 10, then in that case it will run, and the 5 plus 5, similar like that, it will run, and then till the value will become less than 10, it will run. Once the value become equal to or greater than 10, then in that case this will be terminated, and whatever the count value till then, it will automatically get it returned back. So we'll run this code once again. Let me deploy it and show you that what exactly the count we are getting it. So in this case also we are getting 25 only. So till the condition this will fulfill, this do while loop will be run. Once the condition is false, then automatically this will get it terminated and we get the value of count. Okay, so that's all about the difference which I just want to get it cover in this video. I'll try to cover for, while and do while also as per your condition itself if you want to use it. This all stuffs which required in most of the places when we are trying to make a code for in Solidity for our blockchain itself on Ethereum. Then in that case we required couple of places, we required few instructions to be get it triggered sequentially, or we wanted some instructions to be run continuously, or we wanted after particular duration itself, whatever the value we are defining it as per the condition. Whenever we required such type of loops to be get it trigger, we required for while as per our need itself. So that's all about the stuff which I just want to get it cover in this video itself. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel, and if you want to provide your feedback, you can provide your feedback in the comment section of this video. Thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.